Without safety, there is no freedom. That is a famous quote by Wilhelm von Humboldt, yes. And today we are officially, it is no news that we are officially in the festive season, as today is the 8th day in the month of December. Literally 16 more days to the Christmas celebration. With no doubt, the crime rate has skyrocketed as people are trying to make meets end, all in a bid to celebrate the Christmas with pomp. Statistical Research Department shows that Delta State is one of the Nigerian states with the highest crime rate. The crime rate compared to that of the previous years also shows that crime is currently on the rise with the festivity in place. It is only right that we turn to those who have chosen the sacred duty of protecting our lives and properties, who happen to be the Nigerian police force. The Nigerian police force has been up and doing, taking the task at hand and grabbing the bull by the horn with admirable gallantry. But is that enough? Is that enough, especially in this great and enormous festive season? Does it not take two to tango, or all the work lie on the police? That and more we shall be discussing here today on The Big Story. We shall be talking about the police and citizens relationship and how to strengthen our security, especially during this festive season. And also we'll be addressing the controversial issue that came up just recently. I think that was some few days ago. But at this moment, while we wait for our esteemed guests to come on board, Michael Ray.
Yes, anyway, it's good we still inform them,
yes,
that we would have had no order
than the spokesperson.
The spokesperson of the Nigerian Police Force and Delta State Command, and we're talking of no other person but Bright Daffy. Fortunately, he's having an event in Abuja as we speak, but he was even willing to have join us via phone all the way from Abuja. But well, just this morning, they seem to be having a summit or a training, and that will definitely be taking a lot from him. But anyway, we're also now being joined by our own guest in the studio, and it's no other but Mr. Omojefe Daffy. Is a security consultant and an expert. But what we'll do now is quickly go get message from our sponsors, and we're talking about Benita Gas. And when we come back, we'll keep the ball rolling on The Big Story.
Oh, yeah, follow Uno Road, auto better quality. If you talk gas matter, oh, yeah, follow Beneta. Gas with the better quality, Beneta gas. Where they full rich man to Beneta gas. Every brother na shopali, Beneta gas. Beneta gas, no mango, Beneta gas. Different type of gas cylinder, Beneta gas. Gas we go last you well, Beneta gas. Beneta now dogu, Beneta gas. Service in a them they run, Beneta gas. Make you carry go, Beneta.
For gas matter and home delivery, make you wire Beneta gas plant for 080-6745-7890 and 080-5904-7722. Beneta gas plant, the tequila of gas matters.
This school we're standing in was built in the 60s. It was in a bad shape. No toilets, no windows, no chairs, no fan, no electricity. We now came together and developed a charter. We wrote letters to the honorables representing our constituency. The press came in and just did a caption of the school in one of the newspapers. So from there, within 2 weeks, we just saw action. They came to us and tell us that they want to come and inspect the school. So when we came with them, they inspected the school, and from there, the renovation of the school started. So now, They have good classrooms, generator, a good library, good roofing, and so on and so forth. That is how we in Obeleodon, Surulere, Lagos, no sit down look.
My name is Muhammad Ali. I'm the Commandant Kaduna State Vigilance Service. My dear brethren, security is for all. It is the responsibility of every one of us to contribute in his own or her little ways in ensuring that we secure our lives, we secure our properties, and our country remain steadfast.
Yes, welcome back to the big story here on Quest today. And before we went on that break, we actually introduced the topic, but I'll do that again. Today we are talking about police and citizens' relationship, especially to strengthen security in this festive period. And yes, I have my guest here with me in the studios that is a security expert known as... Is it chief now, or how do we call it?
May I not forget I'm a minister of God. So
okay, everyone is a minister right now. But yes, my guest here is Omojefe Edafe, who happens to be a consultant and a seasoned security expert. Don't forget, we're supposed to have the spokesperson for the Delta Command of the Nigerian Police Force, that is Bright Edafe, but he's not around. But don't worry, we'll bring him when he is available. But for now, let's head straight into it, ask the right questions and get the right answers. So, Minister Security Chief Expert, yes. Now that we're officially in the festive season, festive period, it's been stated that there's going to be, there is already increase in crime rates, So what kind of crimes are we looking at? What kind of crimes usually occur at this period of the year, per se?
Thank you very much for having me. Good morning, listeners and viewers. As a matter of fact, in this festive period, there are crimes that are for economic purposes, and there are terror crimes, to instill fear for those who are involved in terror activities, to make sure that the government is crippled, the governance is crippled, and the impact is felt by the larger society. But basically, the little criminal elements we have, they do that for economic purpose, because they feel like the pressure is on at the end of the year, and they need to amass some kind of resources to, jojo and all that, So that is why crime is always at the peak in this season.
So what kind of crimes exactly are we looking at right now?
Now we're looking at probably robbery, shoplifting, petty stealing, and even white-collar crimes. And as a matter of fact, there are terror activities that will be on the rise as well. Like I said, by bandits, and not necessarily bandits, Boko Haram sect and all the terror organizations that we have that will be so branded by the federal government.
Okay.
Okay, now let me quickly, let's rather come to Delta State, which seems to have a unique kind of crime wave, especially during this period. And we'll talk about phone snatching, and, like you said, petty stealing, all for economic gains. Would you say one of the biggest problems we seem to have in Delta State is a lack of our cautiousness as citizens in looking at this? Because some persons will say, if you're very cautious, sometimes you will not fall prey to these persons. So would you say laxity on the part of Deltans also increase the wave of crime?
Michael, I've often said here on this platform, I think that the average Nigerian is not security aware of his environment. Okay. Oftentimes, and this laxity leads to crime, upsurge. Okay. Because that, for instance, if I keep a door open and there are trashes in my house, you expect the stray rats to walk in. And also, this is how criminal elements are like, where they look for vulnerable, rather they watch out for vulnerable places and persons that they can attack and get get their targets. So, but we're not conscious. The average Nigerian is not conscious of security. We do things that are not expected of us, so thereby creating room for stray criminals to just have access, to fester on whatever we have.
Okay, now what of the people and the look of it? Because many persons will say, if you accommodate crime, crime does flourishes. Yes. That's the basic truth. And let's look how really cooperative are the people as it concerns dealing with the issue of insecurity, because everybody will say some of these criminals are well known in their domain. And if you keep entertaining them, most certainly they flourish and foster. How really cooperative are the peoples to deal with some persons that seem to have criminal tendencies?
And that is where we have to come back to where, for instance, the people need to trust the Nigeria Police Force. The citizens need to trust the Nigeria Police Force, so that, because intelligence shared, will bring to, maybe be able to minimize. It certainly may not eradicate or maybe eliminate it totally, but it will minimize the criminal activities. And so therefore the average Nigerian need to, to have so much trust on that. Now people begin to say, how can we trust the Nigeria police? There are some things and all that, but I think it's just in the past. I understand that is a different thing now. There are things you can do even with your phone. You can access, people can access you easily, and you can tell them, without giving out your informations and all that. All you need to do, there are various numbers given by Nigeria Police Force that you can reach out to. You can reach them, drop, an intelligence report. You only, I rather put it actionable information until it is processed and analyzed. It's not intelligence information, but until it is processed, I call it actionable information.
Okay, you did say, you did talk about, initially when I was introducing the show, I did ask, does it not take two to tango? Yeah. Now let's look at the police and the citizen relationship. Do you think that right now, the relationship, or rather, what's your take on the relationship between the citizens and the police force?
Now, like you said, as you rightly said, it takes two to tango. I think, for a relationship to be fun, it has to be between, two persons, two individuals. And trust is a factor that has to be factored in. And I think there is a lack of trust between the average citizen and the Nigeria Police Force. So what I think the police force has to do is to make sure that they build on the trust factor.
Okay. They
have to make sure that, okay, we are to be trusted. We can be trusted. You understand? They make the citizen very comfortable and feel like, oh, you can be trusted. You can share your information with us. You are safe. Whatever will be shared with us can be actionable. We will deal with it decisively and handle it discreetly. These are things that the Nigeria Police Force needs to, make the ordinary, citizen believe. And I think that just like we're doing in this kind of platform, we're educating people, making people realize that you can come out with whatever information you have. Like he rightly said, criminals don't live in the sky. They don't live outside this world. They live within us. And so when we make them comfortable by not, reporting or informing on them, makes them to have a broader base where they can operate. And before you know it, even those who are not interested in crime begin to see the economic viability of crime, and they begin to delve into it. So like we are doing in this platform, by educating people, making people realize that you can as well come out with information.
So in other words, the police is actually our friend.
Our friend, absolutely.
Okay. Well, at this point, we have to put things on a hold because we have to go on that break, yes. But do not go anywhere, do not touch that there. We will be right back here on The Big Story.